When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Lancaster Perspective. I'm Mike Miller. My special guest today from Ohio University of Lancaster, career advisor, Kim Jeffers. How you doing?
Great, thanks for having me.
Actually, you're an academic advisor. I messed that up, right?
No, that's all right, but I do career services stuff too, so.
We appreciate you coming on today. We really do. I know it's a last-minute call, and gee, thank you. I appreciate it very much.
Not a problem.
So it's how long have you been at OUL?
I'm on my 10th year anniversary.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
You like it, obviously.
Oh, I started as the daycare administrator. I don't think you knew that.
No, I didn't know that.
I was a student. I returned as an adult student. And then my kids were in the daycare. And then I took over as the daycare administrator. And then I did advising part-time. And then I transitioned to advising.
So you have a real closeness to OUL.
I do.
Wow. There's been a lot of changes over the years, obviously.
There have. But for the good, a lot of the same faces still there. A lot of the same faculty and the administrative people.
Yeah. It's people always talk about, I have to go to the branch campus, but I mean, it's a quality education. I mean, talk a little bit about some of the classes offered, some of the degrees you can get there.
And you and I were talking earlier about the ratio, and one of the things that I hear from students that go to bigger campuses like Athens or Ohio State, and then they come back to us, is the attention that they get because it's a smaller campus and they can walk in and meet with somebody, and the classrooms are about 20 to 30 students versus like a 300 section lecture hall.
There was somebody at Ohio State said they had 500 kids in their class.
Yeah, nobody knows whether you're coming or going.
Right.
Yeah, most of the time if you're at a small campus like the Lancaster campus, faculty notice if you're not there.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Well, I know that there are several programs that you can get there, and I don't know, do they still have master's programs?
Oh yeah, and you know what, I should have counted so I could give you a number. We have this many, but I brought a list, and we have, well, let's count. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's more than that. I think there was like 13 associate's degrees and 9 bachelor's degrees, but we keep adding more and more bachelor's degrees. So a lot of people don't realize they can start and finish an entire bachelor's degree on our campus. Social work is the new one that we've gotten recently, human biology, communication studies. There's even a cool one that I advise for specifically called the Bachelor of Specialized Studies. And you get to combine disciplines and kind of create your own degree. So that's a fun one. I like that one.
People always ask, how do you determine that? Does that have to go to the Board of Regents and they say, okay, OU Lancaster can do this? I mean, does somebody walk in and say, why don't you teach this?
Yep, it goes through a lot of different channels, and the Board of Regents is one of them, and then the college in Athens that kind of houses that degree. So there's a lot of different channels it goes through. It took us a while to get the social work, but we're pretty pumped that we got it.
Oh, obviously, especially in Fairfield County, my God.
Oh, right.
That's now, people ask about, how do I get involved? What do I do? Do I go online? Can I make an appointment? Do I just walk in? What's the easiest way to find out about how to enroll at OUL?
Well, to begin with, I guess it kind of depends on what stage you're in. If you're just info gathering, the website's a great resource to go to.
Which is?
It's ohio.edu/Lancaster. So if you go there, and even if you just look up Ohio University Lancaster in a Google search, it'll get you there. So looking around on the website, but also we have some high school visits for students that are coming from high school, and I brought those dates too just to remind myself of the ones that are coming up. We've actually got one on March the 25th. And you can find those on our website as well. If you're on the Lancaster campus website and you go to, it's not current students, it's someone who's looking to go to OU. One of the things you can see is visit the Lancaster campus. That's a button you can click on, so you can sign up for these dates. And these are dates that students can get away from the high school for a day. Just check it out. That's a really good way for students to get a feel for whether they like the environment,
they
want to go there.
It's like a college visit, basically.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. And so they're usually on Friday morning, so kind of like today, it's a nice day to get away.
That's now, people it's just Lancaster, but you're so, I mean, it encompasses so many other counties and even states.
Oh, and I'm planning a career fair for our students right now, and one of the things we were trying to invite some alum to it, you know, people who've graduated, and we were looking at the different counties. And we draw from a lot of counties in Ohio, the area that we're in, Fairfield County, and then a lot of the surrounding counties that you would suspect, Pickaway County, Hocking County, Perry County, Licking County. We have people from a lot of different schools. So it's not just a lot of people that think they're in Lancaster and they're just going to be in the same classrooms with people that they were in high school with. It's not really like that at all. There's a lot of different people.
That's when people talk about the classes, they're pretty much scheduled. They're not just during the day, they're in the evening, they're spread out. Even the weekends, if I remember right.
Oh, there are Saturday morning classes, no Sunday classes. But there are some classes that are online, and then there are classes that are what we call blended. Some schools call it hybrid, where they're partially in class and partially online. So if you kind of want to get an idea of how to navigate some of the online stuff, that's a good way to do it. But yeah, there's classes at a variety of times.
Wow, that's fantastic. The faculty, I mean, I know a lot of them out there. They've been there quite a bit. I mean, there's new ones, obviously, but faculty stays pretty much.
They do. And one of the benefits, too, of a regional campus is if you go to a giant campus, a lot of times you're going to get a grad assistant who's teaching your class. But that's the cool thing about Lancaster campus. Most of our, we've got part-time teachers, but a lot of our teachers, are full PhD professors. Sure. And so you're getting something from someone who is really an expert in the field.
There's I know it used to be great because you could work during the day and then go to school at night, but the percentage of kids that are working and kids that are full-time?
I don't know the percentage, but if I were to guess, I would say at least half of our students work at least a part-time job. And a lot of the students work on our campus. There are a lot of different places, the daycare and the athletics and the library, that they can work.
That's fantastic. I know there's a lot of activities, but do you go to other branches and talk to them and steal ideas?
Oh, absolutely. And I just had a meeting in Athens, and they invite regional campuses, which is great. And sometimes we do visit the Zanesville campus I've been to, and I have pretty good relationships. We kind of know the people that we can contact on the different campuses when we have questions, and we say, what are you doing with this? How do you do it this way? So yeah, I think it's a pretty good relationship, collaborative.
That's when I know there's so many activities on campus, but just talk a little bit about a few of them that, I know there's athletics and all. Talk a little bit about just some of the activities that are at the branch, because they play in the COCC league, I think it is. But
and we actually play Ohio Christian. So we play, it's the...
Oh, the art.
Yeah, it's the ORCC. ORCC. It's the Ohio Regional College Commission, I think. I don't know if I have that right. But we play other branch campuses. So we play the other OU Lancaster campuses. We used to do OSU, and some of the OSU campuses still have teams. Newark, unfortunately, doesn't anymore.
Right.
But, and they're pretty successful. And the great thing is sometimes these are athletes that come straight from high school, and they played in high school. Sometimes it's people who didn't play in high school for whatever reason, and now they have a chance to play at college.
Right.
Sometimes it's even people who took a few years off and came back. But other than athletics, we've got a very active theater right now. And I don't know if you've seen any of the productions, but they're fantastic. They're really fantastic. We've got Victor who's running that right now, and there's really good shows. So and they do things for the festival, so there's always a pretty good show going on during the festival too.
No, just go to theater. How do you get to that website, or is there activities website?
It's a button on our website too. And always, this is what I tell students: it's kind of hard not to find things now. You can Google Ohio University Lancaster Theater, and I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find info.
Find where it's at.
Yep.
When you're bringing students in and talking about it. What's the selling point? I know tuition is reasonable. I know that, but just talk a little bit about sell these two guys on coming to OUL.
Yeah. Well, and I think we've touched on a few of them. Obviously, the tuition it's $5,000 a year pretty much to go, and the classes are the same. And they're gonna, even if you decide to start there and go somewhere else, the classes are gonna transfer. It's a state institution. The classroom sizes are small. The environment for a small campus, there's about 2,600 students on campus. So some people think that's a small campus, but if you compare it to some private schools, it's pretty equivalent. And for a small campus, there's a lot of stuff going on, like we were talking about. Right. So not only the athletics and the theater, but there are a lot of student organizations. So one of the organizations is the Strum Club, and it's a group of students who play guitar, and they get together. And some of those students went out to some local elementary schools, and they started mentoring kids in the elementary schools, teaching them guitar. So I think we have a really good student body that wants to be involved with things, and even some national chapters of some organizations and some sororities, fraternity kind of stuff.
The community seems very involved with OUL too, and OUL is involved with the community. There's a lot of things that you guys do in the community.
Yeah. And so one of the organizations that we have does work with Big Brothers Big Sisters. We're really trying to push students to do internships now to get out into the community, so that's a big part of it. So students can kind of see what's out there as far as when they
Sure.
graduate, but then also so employers can see, what great things our students can do.
You mentioned earlier about the job fair coming up, but that's just for OU alumni.
It's OU students and OU alum. Yeah, we're trying to offer some local and some outside of the area employers.
That's the drawbacks. If somebody says, if there's one thing that maybe Kim Jeffers, Dean Smith walks in and says, Kim, you're in charge today. Do whatever you want to do. What, would you change something? Would you?
Oh my goodness, that's a tough question. That sounds like an interview question.
Well,
what are your weaknesses? Wow.
I mean, if somebody just said, what would you change? What would you add? Or a new program or new building? Or there's something that
we've wanted nursing for a while. I think we'd like to have nursing. Chillicothe, Zanesville, Athens has it, but we saw a need for it and we didn't have it. So what some folks on our campus did was they partnered with Mount Carmel College of Nursing.
Sure.
So we have that program now. So that's something that I hear a lot of students say they'd like to have. And then some of the technical stuff, where I think culinary and I hear a lot of people say that they'd like to do culinary or to do like cosmetology. We don't have those things, but those are more technical. So
right. Are you surprised at the number of online classes you can get? I've seen commercials for 50 different organizations or universities. That's got to be a big change from when even you started.
Oh, it is. And when I went back to school as an adult student, it was about more than 10 years ago that I was able to get a couple online classes, and they're convenient. But what you make up for what you get out of convenience is there's a lot of work to do when you're in an online class because you're having to learn stuff on your own and teach yourself stuff that normally you would be sitting in a class. So I think there's some advantages to online classes, but also some disadvantages. And that's one of the things when I meet with students one-on-one, when we talk about it, we discuss whether that's a good option for them or not.
Is there some friendly competition among? Do schools get together maybe and say, okay, we're going to offer this, and you guys offer this, and you guys offer this, or is it more, we're just going to offer what we want?
I think that's part of a Board of Regents thing, that this is who's going to offer
Good
what.
answer.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Diplomatic. But there is some competition, and on the Lancaster campus, there's not a lot of schools close to here, but Hocking, some students go to Hocking, and we have a lot of students that transfer back and forth, so the advisors are pretty well versed in classes that transfer and what you can take at one school and the schools that are close to us.
I know you have dates for high school kids to come in. Do you ever have open houses for people to come in and maybe the older generation like myself?
And we've done that.
School?
We've done that, and we actually had programs, and we've called it Start to Finish. So you started a long time ago and you'd like to finish. So we do have some of those, and we have advisors that are available Monday through Thursday, typically, where we call it on a walk-in basis, where anybody who walks in the door that just has a question or wants to talk to somebody, that's what they can do. So typically Monday through Thursday, there's somebody available that if you just want to come in and say, hey, I have a few questions, can I get an application, you can do that.
Applying to OUO. Now, we talked a little bit about the website and all that, but for the senior or coming out of high school, do they have to send transcripts? Talk
Good
a little
question.
bit about those things.
So a lot of schools have deadlines that you have to apply by. The great thing about the Lancaster campus is we're open admission, so that means you can apply clear up through the summer. And we do get a lot of people that do that. Yeah, you can, we have people that apply, especially high school students, because they don't have a lot of transcripts coming with them, but people that apply clear up until the week before classes start, and they can come as long as they graduated and they have their transcript. So that is the first step in the process, is to actually apply. And we've got it online, and we still have a paper application. And the application is online. One of the buttons you can click on says apply. So that's one of the things that you can do. And then the next step is to get a transcript sent so that we can see that you've graduated. And if you do have transfer credits, this is something that a lot of people that are doing the whole CC Plus don't realize.
What's CC Plus?
CC Plus, College Credit Plus. That's the new term for post-secondary, for students taking high school credits or college credits in high school. And there's a lot of ways they can do that. But a lot of students come to us with transfer credits already, and they think that that's on their high school transcript when it's not. So say they're attending here, for example, and they took some classes through Ohio Christian. What they have to do is request their transcripts from Ohio Christian and have them sent to OU.
Okay.
So then we can equate them into OU
Now,
credits.
is there a fee for that, or a fee for registration, anything like that?
There is a fee to apply. It's a $20 application fee. If you go to Athens, it's a little bit more. So that's how you can tell you're on the right application page. Transcripts, sometimes schools charge, sometimes schools don't. So it kind of depends on who you got your credits through.
The main campus in Athens, if you're taking classes there,
Yes.
can you still take classes at OUL, or do you have to re-enroll at OUL, or because you're at Athens, can you go to another branch campus?
Yeah, you can. Now, if you want to go to the Athens campus, you have to apply and be admitted. But the great thing that a lot of students don't realize is that as long as you've attended one full-time semester on the Lancaster campus, so if you've not been accepted to main campus, as long as you attend for a full-time semester and prove that you're capable of achieving, academic success, which is the
Right.
2.0, then you can relocate, and that's the term that we use because you're not really transferring. And I went off topic. What was the beginning of your
We were just
question?
talking about if you are at a branch campus, can you go to
Oh, and we have a lot of students. Yeah, so we have some students that take like maybe 2 classes on the Lancaster campus, and then they drive to Athens 2 days a week. And they can take classes on all of the campuses. And the cool thing about Lancaster is they're kind of centrally located.
Sure.
That Athens is about an hour, Chillicothe, Zanesville, they're all within an hour. So we do have a lot of students that do that.
The classes, and I just want to keep on it, if you take classes at Lancaster and you can't make the class the next sequence, you could go to Zanesville.
Right.
And pick it up, or
Yep.
you could go to Chillicothe,
Yep.
or you could do one of those things. There's no extra fees to do that or anything like
Not
that.
at all. Nope.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and the same, there's one registration process and then one schedule of classes. You can look by campus, but you just put in the call number and register.
How many students are at OUL right now?
About 2,600, I think.
Wow,
last
that's
count.
evening too? That's everybody?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think that includes the Pickerington campus too.
That's,
And when I first started, I started in 2008 full-time as an advisor. I think it was something like 1,600. So we've
Wow.
seen an enrollment jump. And I think 2008 was a big year for a lot of reasons, but I'll take credit. That
you
was
take
when
credit.
I started.
That was Kim Jeffers did all that.
That was when I started.
There you go. So are there times when people are coming in thinking about going to college, but you're thinking to yourself, maybe this isn't the best move for you. I mean, is that difficult?
Well, we have an admissions. Usually by the time they see me, they've already decided they're coming, and I'm just kind of helping them pick their path. That's what an
Okay.
academic advisor does. We've got an admissions advisor, and he
Okay.
goes out and visits the high schools. And if people are just not sure what they want to do,
Sure.
or they just want to check out some of the programs and see, what we have to offer, they can meet with him one-on-one, and he'll kind of talk through that stuff, and he's fantastic.
We talked earlier about all the activities going, all the athletic events and the theater events and all those things. Is there something you would like to see that's not, I mean, we talked earlier about, being in charge, but is there something that you would like to see
lacking?
that maybe, boy, this would bring a bunch of people in? And
I don't know. We should ask the students that are recording what
do you
they
do
would
that?
like to
Do
see.
you ever do surveys?
Oh yeah, and usually when we do orientations all through the summer, we have someone that introduces all the things that we have on campus, and we always tell students they can start their own clubs or their own activities if they want. I think there's and I've never really thought about that. That might be something that I might have to think about if I could do something. You always wish you had more people in your office.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah.
So you had a little bit more time to
Absolutely.
meet one-on-one with students, and we do get that. There are certain times of year when students are registering that they get half an hour one-on-one before they schedule any classes, but then there are other times of the year that it's really busy, so always wish. And we have an intern that's going to be working in our office, so we like to utilize interns in our own office too.
Wow, that's fantastic. I was out the other day. I stopped in to see Ron Combs, but he was asleep. But there's some construction going on in the front of the building. What's
out
that
in
all
the
about?
front. That was I think out of necessity because there were some drainage issues and so they did that, but I think it's going to be really pretty. They're going to put new grass in that front area, and that is an area that they've been working on, making sure that what you can see from the road is welcoming and inviting.
Right. Do they still have the program Kids in College?
They do. Oh, that's a big one.
I spoke at, I think, the first or second one, whenever that was 60 years ago.
Yeah.
But I just wonder if they still have that program.
They do, and it's I think every year it's a pretty successful program. And what's really neat is when you hear students from that did that when they were
Sure.
8, 10 years old, and now they're coming there to college, kind of full circle. It's pretty neat. And Mary Ann Lape is the person that coordinates that. Yeah. And she's putting together a pretty good schedule for this year. I was talking to her about it the other day. And they have cool classes. They do ceramics and cooking and archery. And then they have academic things, like students can do things with math and physics. So it's got a big variety for students to choose from.
What's the most common program or degree that people go after, I guess?
I think it used to be education. Education's a big one because students can complete in entirety if they want to be licensed to teach from preschool up to 3rd grade. That's early childhood, and then middle childhood. Social work, we have a Bachelor of Science in Applied Management. That's getting to be a really big one right now too. And we have a lot of students out in the community doing internships for that one. And Brian Hoyt's the coordinator for that program. And you've probably heard that he just got a grant from Great Lakes where we're able to pay our students to do internships in the community.
Wow.
So we're trying to recruit employers, to see the value of our students. And so we're saying we'll pay them for a little while.
So what type of students, are they psychology students? Or are they education students?
And mostly, their education students can do it, but they have their own internship when they do the student teaching. But if they want to do something, outside of the student teaching, it's open to all majors, but it's open to juniors and seniors. And in order to qualify for the grant, they have to qualify income-wise too. So there's a little bit of that, but and they get paid. Right now, it's like $18 an hour, so it's a really good opportunity.
So you need employers to help out.
We do, and so
if all the employers that are watching, should they call you directly, or
they can contact either myself, and it's jeffersk@ohio.edu is my email. I'm kind of the contact person for career services, or Brian Hoyt. And his email is hoyt@ohio.edu. And we can explain a little bit about that program and what you can do to get connected.
And maybe I can talk with Ron or some other Brian. I deal with a lot of employers all the time.
Oh, yeah.
So that might be something we can hook up to help that program out. That's neat.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. What's Kim Jeffers doing when she's not at OU 26 hours a day?
Soccer coaching right now. That's kind of a fun thing. Yeah. I just started doing that in the fall, and now we have it's Perry County Soccer League. I'm from Perry County, and my daughter plays, and they needed an extra coach, so I watched a lot of YouTube videos and figured out how to play soccer. And so I did that, and now we have a spring league we put together, and we're bringing them over to the Lancaster, the rec league that they have over here. So that's one of the things that I do outside of here. Wow. And I've got a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old at home now, which just blows my mind. So my 14-year-old's going to high school next year, and so I'm having to kind of learn all of this stuff as a parent, which is crazy.
To attend all those meetings and you'll enjoy it. You'll have a blast. You'll have a blast. Talk a little bit in those people that are teetering. I just don't know if I want to do this. Talk about time commitment that it takes to. You've been through it.
Yeah.
Just talk a little bit about what it takes to get through these programs.
To be a good student. That's one of the things. Phyllis is another advisor in our office, and Jim Wellington. We have 3 full-time advisors, and when we run the orientations, that's one of the things we talk about, how to be a successful student. Sure. And a lot of students don't realize the study time and the commitment outside of class when you're in college versus when you're in high school. So we have this thing called the standard study formula. And a lot of people look at a schedule and say, why is 12 to 15 hours full time? If you have a job, you're doing 40 hours a week. But if you calculate in the study formula, which is about 2 hours outside of class for every hour in class. So if you're we'll go on the low end, 12 credit hours, and you're studying and doing homework and research and assignments and all the stuff that goes with that 24 hours outside of class, now there's your 36-hour week. And a lot of times when students are going to a commuting campus like that, they're driving back and forth, they do have jobs, that's the one thing that they forget to calculate in. They figure, okay, I'm working at wherever I'm working, my fast food place, I can work from 8 o'clock in the morning to 12, take my classes from 12 to 8 o'clock at night, and they're not calcalating in that extra time to study.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've been there. I've done that. It's a lot to do, but it hasn't changed at all. It hasn't changed.
And so some classes you don't have that much to study for, and then others you have to put in extra time for. So we just always tell students when they're kind of putting their schedule together, give yourself that much time, and then if you don't need it, then it's just extra.
Do they still have professors come up from Athens and teach classes?
We do, and actually shared professors that come from other campuses. We have Athens professors that come up, and then we have. Are you aware of the OULN? OU Learning Network. So Pat refers to it as Skype on steroids. I love it. So it's the media people would love it. It's basically a room where each seat has like a monitor or something. I don't know the technical terms, but the professor is on one campus, but they're kind of beamed out on multiple campuses so they can teach to multiple campuses at one time. And in classes where, when you get to the senior level classes or some of the classes where there's only, 5 or 6 students on each campus that would need it, it's perfect.
Right.
So it's real time, so the teacher's teaching and they're just teaching on multiple campuses.
Yeah, I remember one of the Athens professors came up and told me that I should be in the Air Force because you just come to class and take up space. But
and you agreed?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Real quick, we just have a few minutes left. There are other things. The bistro. Talk a little bit about the bistro.
The Bobcat Bistro. So the Bobcat Bistro is our food court, kind of. So in the basement area, we have a food court, and what they do is they bring up stuff from the culinary services in Athens. So they bring up pretty healthy food. There's a salad bar and a lot of different food items. So I think it's pretty cool. And there's a nice seating area. They remodeled that area with some help from some donors in the community. And it's a pretty nice area that students can kind of sit and hang out and do homework. If they can do homework with the noise, I could never do that. A lot of these students can do that.
Is that open to the public too? I mean, can the public?
Oh, anybody, anybody that's on campus or that happens to be around can stop by for sure.
Fantastic. Well, there's just again one more website, phone numbers of people interested in attending OUO.
Yeah, the Lancaster campus website is ohio.edu for education and then /Lancaster. So that's the majority of where you'll find out how to apply, how to attend the days that we have for high school students. Just browsing a lot of info. Phone number? The main phone number is still 654-6711. It's area code 740. And then that number will get you to any of the other numbers that you may need. So if you're interested in athletics or the theater, if you call the main number at 654-6711, that'll get you to a lot of the resources on campus.
Well, Kim, it's been a pleasure having you here. And you, the last minute, I called Kim early this morning, saying, can you show up? And she was here. We appreciate it very much.
Oh, not a problem.
Again, if employers want to use the internships, get a hold of you or Brian Hoyt.
They can. So it's hoyt@ohio.edu or Jeffers, K. It's my last name and first initial. I apparently wasn't the first Jeffers. So.
Fantastic. Go Cats. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of Lanks Perspective. I'm Mike Miller. And remember, until we meet again, let's make a difference.
In 1929 in Chicago, a gentleman by the name of Marion Wade, a former minor league baseball player, started the company. It was just a moth-proofing company then. In 1952, it expanded to carpet cleaning and pioneered what is now called outsourcing. And the Sidwells wanted a community that had a lot of churches, had a lot of soccer opportunities, their kids love soccer, and a good Parks and Rec department, so they chose Lancaster. And so in 1980, they moved the franchise here in Lancaster to 6th Avenue. But then in 2002, Todd George, current owner, purchased the franchise from them. And in 2004, he bought a building that's on Mulberry Street, and that's where the franchise is located currently. I'm Jay Johnson, General Manager of Service Master Clean by Todd George, where we guarantee if it's not done right the first time, we'll do it again.
Service Master Clean by Todd George, 740-687-1077, 740-687-1077.